Welcome everyone to the Goblins live show. Hope you're all doing well today. We've got a special show for you this evening where we are gonna do a bit of a live Q&A with everybody. As a big thank you to all of our 3,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. That's such a big achievement. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel that long ago since we got 2K subscribers. So
I know, it does feel like
that's pretty awesome. So yeah, thanks. Thank you ever so much for all of you that have subscribed, that have joined our little horde, our little family.
Yeah.
And yeah, cheers to you. You ready, Wifey?
I'm ready.
Let's roll that intro. Switching for a second. How are we doing, Wifey?
Yeah, good.
Doing all right?
Yeah.
Anything interesting this week?
No, but I can reveal my news that we were.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I
that
said the
you
Wifey's got
alluded
big
to.
news last week. Yeah.
It's I've got a new job.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, Wifey's got a nice new job. So
Yes.
yeah,
So,
it's going to be a nice ease on the financial burdens of life. So
yeah, it's exciting. Exciting
Yeah.
times. New
Yeah,
opportunity,
it's
new
positive.
challenge, lots of new benefits. So I can't complain.
yeah, it's
But
good.
that was the only
It's really
news.
good.
Nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, well, you didn't want to say anything last week because you hadn't handed in your notice yet, had you?
That's it.
So yeah.
That's it.
Really good stuff. So yeah, I mean, been working quite hard this week with tomorrow's video.
Oh, that's what we did the weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, I really wanted to get this video out this week. So as we speak, it's exporting from Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
It's quite a long one, unfortunately. I wanted to keep it to half hour, but it's going to be about 38 minutes long is what the finished product ended up being, just because the amount of information that's in there. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, tomorrow's video is going to be our ZZR 1400 comparison to the ZH2. It has been a video that's been requested in the past a couple of times, so finally got round to doing it. But yeah, it's quite a big project when you're getting out more than one bike for a shoot that is quite detailed and quite in depth.
It's a process.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a big
But
process.
yeah, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're a ZH2 owner, hopefully it will convince you to buy a ZZR, and if you're a ZZR owner, hopefully it will convince you to buy a ZH2.
Be interesting.
Or get both, like me.
It'll be interesting to see the comments that you get and
Yeah.
people's opinions on your scoring and how you're gonna.
Well, it's quite funny
about
because
it.
it's a comparison that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because, like, why would you be in the market for a sport bike and a naked, or a naked? You wouldn't. You'd be one or the other. And it's quite funny because when I've done my little market research bits and pieces, these kinds of comparisons don't really do that well.
No.
Even on like the big channels as well.
Like
Big
Yummy.
channels. Like on Yummy Noob, there was a comparison they did. I can't remember what the bikes were. It was either like I can't remember. I think it was an Aprilia RS660 versus the Z650 from Cowie. RS660 versus a Z650, I think. And a channel like Yummy Noob that's got over 1 million subscribers, that video only had 17,000 views.
Not a lot in comparison, is there?
No, when most of their videos are getting well over hundreds of thousands of views every single day. So I'm not expecting this video to do all that well, but I mean,
You never know.
you never know. You never know.
know.
Maybe a lot of it is going to come down to the way how we word the title and how we do the thumbnail and stuff, which I haven't done yet. Actually, that's the one thing I need to do still is the thumbnail. But yeah, pretty tough project. So yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and watch that one tomorrow. It is going to be a marathon. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a long one, but yeah, we put a lot of effort into that one. So yeah, looking forward to that one coming out tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's pretty much been it this week, I think, in terms of what we've been up to, really. Our reaction video yesterday has done quite well, surprisingly enough, as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a interesting turn of events because our reactions in the past haven't done that well really. They haven't performed that well. But
For me, the last 5 minutes of that footage,
the last 30 seconds.
just seals it for me.
Just watch the last 30 seconds of the video. It's
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious.
And I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So obviously the aim of today is for you guys to get to know us better, better. So anything you want to know doesn't have to be motorcycle related.
No, not at all.
It can be about us. It can be about anything that you want, and
within reason.
Yeah, and if we want to answer it, then obviously
we'll try and answer every question.
But there's certain questions we've discussed we're not going to answer, or we're not going to give you.
We'll come to those questions if they come up.
Yeah.
But
so what I've got a few questions for you. I've written 5 down, just so.
Well, yeah. To start things off today, I think we're going to ask each other a couple of questions, aren't we?
Yeah, and then whilst you guys get sort of your questions down
into
in the
the
chat.
flow of things, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Mark's got one already for you.
Mark, good to see you, mate. 125 guy, good to see you. How you guys doing? Good to see you.
Do you want to start with Mark's, or do you want to start with ours, or?
We'll start off with ours.
Okay.
We'll start off with ours for now, and then we'll crack on with what the viewers would like to know about us. But yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Anyone, chuck your questions in the chat.
There's no stupid question. If there is, we'll tell you. I'm joking. There's no stupid question. So should I just read mine for you first?
Go for it.
So my first question, and you knew I was going to ask you this question, whether or not you remember it. What is your most memorable piece of filming and your most memorable piece of editing, and why?
I remember the conversation, but I can't actually remember the video I talked about.
The editing wise was when we were doing the reaction and with the dog. And we had to pixel out his bottom.
Okay, yeah, it was the last 30 seconds of the video.
Yeah.
I spent about about 20 minutes editing just the last bit where like you just get a full frontal mooner.
Yeah, from the dog.
Of the dog's butt. And then I'm like, I don't think YouTube will accept that. And it's not something that you guys want to see either, so I had to try and blur out the dog butt and I had to track it as well.
It was amusing, especially as it was
so
like
funny.
Past midnight and we were both really tired and doing it. It was amusing. So, by the by, what's your most memorable piece of filming that you've done?
Most memorable piece of filming?
Yeah, or like your most favourite bit of filming.
I don't know. That's quite tough, actually.
See, for me, it's when we were doing the smooth brain pillion one, and I was there with my calendar on my head, and then this car drives past.
Yeah, that was.
And
funny.
I was just like, "Oh my gosh!"
That was funny.
So embarrassing because I was like, I look like an absolute twat.
I get that an awful lot though. Even when I'm just I'm not dressed up stupidly or anything like that, but if I'm trying to shoot an intro in front of the camera and people either walk past or a car goes by, I have to stop. Most of the time I have to stop because I don't want to. I think if someone is holding the camera whilst you are shooting the intro, I think it's a lot easier because they know what you're doing. But when you're just talking into an empty space and they don't necessarily see that there's a camera on a tripod somewhere, they don't see it. They just see you chatting just
to no one. He's
just
snapped
like into the abyss. Like
he's finally snapped.
It's a broken man right there. But yeah, I mean, the other day, what was I filming? It was an intro for, I think it was about the motorway speed limits, because there's this rumor about motorway speed limits getting axed or getting scrapped in the UK. So we'll have like effectively a UK Autobahn. And I was shooting the intro for that, and there was just a guy walking a load of dogs in the background. And because I had my helmet on, I was facing the opposite way. I was just chatting away. He would never have been able to see the camera because it would have been hidden either behind me or the bike. So he just looks at me like, what the hell is he doing?
Have you got that recorded?
It's only a quick glance, but you know what he's thinking. And then he carries on walking, but...
It's like they're looking for the other person.
It's after I actually done the take, when I turned around and I noticed that he was there. I was like, oh god, so embarrassing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a phobia for me. I think it's something that I want to try and get over because I want to start doing more filming in public. I suppose around people. But like I said, it's easier when you have someone holding a camera in front of you, it's easier for people to understand what's going on. But yeah, if it's just you on your own, which most of the time I am on my own filming, then yeah, it's just so awkward.
Cool. But, okay.
Yeah.
Marcus said it has to be the race. One of the most memorable bits of filming. That was good. That was memorable. The ending was probably the most memorable part.
The ending is what made that video worth it for me. Yeah.
Surprised I didn't break my ankle. Genuinely.
The way you vaulted over the fence
8 centimetre
as well.
heels. I mean, come on.
And actually, that's quite funny as well, because do you remember there was a bloke walking his dog in that field, and he saw you running, and he saw me chasing you with a motorcycle, getting off the motorcycle, and then started to chase after you. Like, luckily he didn't say anything, but oh my god, he must have been thinking, what the hell's going on there? Like some drug bust gone wrong or something.
The thing is, though, I'm just lucky that. Can you imagine if I started running and he started running as well, thinking I was like, because if you see people running, you're like, oh my gosh, like.
But I actually totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's.
That happened, because I remember distinctively riding the bike down the road and then seeing this other guy just looking at you like, why the hell is she running and why is she being chased by a motorcyclist? So yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so next question for you is, what made you start Goblin Rides? I'm sure everyone's interested. Is there a reason you started? Might not be.
I don't know. Like I was just quite at the time. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, is do a motorcycle YouTube channel, but I didn't think I actually had a motorcycle that was worth featuring on a YouTube channel. So I was like, well, there's no point in me starting anything if no one's going to watch because the bike sucks. And it was when we bought the ZZR. Within about 6 months of buying that bike is when I finally pulled the trigger and was like, yeah, this is the bike that people want to see. And yeah, turns out I've been mostly correct on that. People love it. People absolutely love that motorcycle, and the reason why we have so much growth, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's our creative style or what have you, but for me, I think a lot of it is about the bike.
Maybe it's just our faces.
Maybe
people just want to see us.
Maybe, but it's like I've never had the same level of success with the CBR 600RR on the videos about that, and I've never had the same level of success on the ZH2. However, that's slowly changing. People are getting more and more into the ZH2. But again, like the ZZR, because it's been around for nearly 20 years now as a platform.
It's known.
People know it.
It's got a legacy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, because of its legacy, people know what it is, and they're curious about it and really interested in it. It's not as popular as the 1 litre sport bikes. It's not popular at like R1s, Fireblades, or I don't know, even Panigales, I suppose, are more popular on social media and all that. But there is a nice, respectable amount of people following content around the ZZR. So yeah, so that it worked out well. But I've been a motorcycle enthusiast for a long time. But like I was saying, it kind of just got to a point where I've got to share this with the world.
This kind of leads on to my next question. It's a bit of a mouthful. How does it feel knowing you have brought together a community of people and forged friendships all through a shared passion?
Yeah, that's been the most incredible part about all this for me, is the people we've interacted with are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, and just like you say, the passion that people have for this hobby it inspires me. It inspires me more, and it makes me even more passionate about the hobby. But
my next question is leading on from that, but just take a second for how beautifully worded that question was. Wasn't it beautiful, the way I worded that question?
Read it again.
How does it feel knowing you have brought together a community of people and forged friendships all through a shared passion? Isn't it beautiful?
Very politically correct.
So that actually leads me on.
Considering I call all of you goblins.
Yeah.
It's a term of endearment, by the way.
It is, yeah. So do you think riding is your hobby or your passion, or is it both?
Well, I think hobbies can be passions and vice versa.
But do you think it's more than one than the other?
No, one and the same thing.
Okay.
If you do something for a hobby and you do it for your own satisfaction, your own pleasure, then it's a hobby and a passion at the same time. You know, you don't do it. You do it for practically no reason, but there is a reason to you.
Yeah.
And that's the definition of a hobby, and also of a passion. Yeah.
I have one final question for you, and you're going to go, oh, that's an impossible question.
Okay.
What is your ultimate dream bike?
Yeah, that is a tough question.
You can have one from each category if you like. So like one sport bike, one tourer. Like money's not a question. Like you can have anything in the world.
That's really hard because the bikes that we featured on the channel arguably are dream bikes that people have posters of on their walls.
I know, but what's yours?
So
that's the thing.
I would say right now my dream motorcycle, if money was no object, would be a Ninja H2.
Okay.
As cliche as that might be, at the moment that's like arguably the ultimate motorcycle. So it's one of those bikes that I think is out of reach for a lot of people. But then again, a lot of motorcycles in that class, in that price are going into that same price range. So it's not all that outlandish now to expect a flagship Japanese motorcycle to cost as much as it does.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those motorcycles that when it first came out, everyone was like, no one's going to buy that. It's going to be like a concept bike. And to some extent it is, but the fact that it's road legal and the fact that it just tears is it's another modern classic in the making. People are going to remember that motorcycle for a long time. You know, imagine in 30 years time, you know, the motorcycles that you wish you'd ridden or something like that. The Ninja H2 is probably going to be among the top of a lot of people's lists. At least if you're into sport bikes, I suppose.
Especially when it all goes electric.
Well, yeah.
And you'll be living, like, thinking about those bikes you used to own or used to ride, or we never had a chance to ride. But that's all my questions for you. You got any for me?
Okay, let's before we move on to the questions I got for you. Bike Hub, I do have a question. I don't have a question, but I do have a complaint. Will you listen? Grin smiley face. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Let us know your complaint. We'll try our best to address it.
Shall I read the question that Mark's got for? I think it's for you, and there's one for me as well. So the one for you.
Okay.
Is my first question, leaving out the obvious ones. I already know your names, Gloria and Oliver, of course. You got us. What got you into bikes, and why do you enjoy riding bikes?
That's hard. Me, I've always had an interest in motorcycles. It's quite funny because no one in my immediate family ever had an interest in motorcycles whatsoever. My dad always toyed with the idea of getting a motorcycle license and getting involved, but he never did it. I mean, I found out only a few years ago that my auntie has a full motorcycle license, but she's not.
She doesn't ride.
She doesn't ride. No, she doesn't ride for ridiculous reasons, but we won't go into that in too much detail. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Just ever since I was a kid, I love motorcycles, and I always wanted to have them. I don't have like a specific date in time when I was like, I need to be a motorcyclist. It was never
one
like that.
Pinpoint thing that changed your,
No, it's quite funny as well because I've made references before about certain movies and things that have had an influence in my interest, but I don't think it stemmed from that. A lot of it stemmed from actually watching people riding motorcycles. When you'd see someone riding an R6 or I don't know, just anything. When I saw someone riding anything, I was like, wow, that looks so cool. And I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted a piece of it. And even to this day, if I'm in my car or if I'm walking about or something, if I'm on my bike, if I'm riding, and I see another motorcycle, I'm like, that's so cool. Still, I have that same attitude to this day. It's just an itch that I have to keep scratching.
Yeah, that's fine.
And yeah, there's only been one lull in my enthusiasm, and that was, well, a lot of things were happening at that time. So, Wifey and I had just bought a flat together.
When was this, sorry?
When? This was 2016.
Righto.
Between maybe 2015. I can't remember. It was 1.5 to 2 years where there was a period of time where I was working with my dad on quite a big
venture.
Quite a big business venture at the time. We're not doing that anymore for
many reasons.
Well, there's a lot of reasons behind it, but we basically, my dad and I opened up a Subway franchise, and it was a legit franchise and all that stuff. But there was some political nonsense that happened, and we ended up having to just part ways basically with I can't remember what they were called, but it's like people that run a certain area, like regional managers, I suppose, or regional directors of Subway franchises in a particular area. And we simply just didn't have a good relationship with them, so we had to move on. But it was during that period where there was lots of stress, lots of anxiety, lots of everything. The travel was bad as well. There's a lot of travel involved, and that kind of got in the way of my riding career. But then when all that cleared up and I got a normal job, I suppose.
A 9 to 5.
A 9 to 5 job, which I love 9 to 5 jobs personally. I hate shift work. My body just doesn't like it. But yeah, just that period where there was a lot going on in my life, I kind of lost a little bit of interest. But then when everything kind of got back to normality again for me, that's when I picked it back up, and I haven't dropped it since.
No,
I put on the motorcycle I had at the time, I put more mileage on it within 3 years than like double the mileage than the past, I think it was 5 or 6 years I'd owned it.
I think because we got together in 2013, didn't we? And I'd been on your bike a couple of times, not like a regular pillion at that point. But yeah, when we moved into that flat, you did start to use it more, and it's been way more consistent than it was the first portion of our relationship, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that was because of the bike I was riding. I should have looked around more for a different motorcycle rather than keeping the same one. But I think that's a trap that a lot of riders fall into, is that they get a motorcycle and they ride it and they think that's the be-all end-all, like there aren't any motorcycles out there that are going to give me a different experience to what I have. So what's the point in getting something else when that's totally not the case? Totally, every motorcycle you ride will give you a different experience, and I realised that about 4 years ago.
But at least you realised it now, and not when you're in your 60s.
Yeah.
And like the time is very short to try things.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
Okay, cool. So moving on to the next question from Mark, which is for me.
Well, hang on. Let's address what Bike Hub was saying.
Shall I read it for you?
That's all right, I can read it. So Bike Hub, their first mention in the chat is, I don't have a question, but I have a complaint. Will you listen? Well, I watched your Autobahn video briefly. I didn't watch it to the end and sort of misinterpreted what it was about. Yesterday, I bought a gorgeous ZX7R and remembered, oh no, speed limit. So coming home on the M62, maybe somewhere up north somewhere, the 50 zone turned into national speed limit, so I hit the limiter in 6th. Wow. Oh, Jesus Christ. So you would have been bombing it down there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it hasn't changed yet, and it probably won't. I think there's
more to the story yet.
Oh, is there?
Cheshire Constabulary didn't believe me when I told them I saw a video on YouTube and there's no speed limit anymore. I think I should move back to Japan. I blame you.
I'm
Jokes.
Sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
just jokes,
No,
but-
I know. No, the point of the video was one, if it's even going to happen, which I don't think it will, but two, whether or not it's a good idea. And I make a reference to another YouTube channel called Hero RR. They're a really good channel. Definitely go check them out. They've got loads of really cool builds and things. And basically, he bought a ZX14 It was absolutely wrecked. He rebuilt it up and he vlogged the whole thing. It's fantastic. And when it was all fixed up and it was working perfectly, because it was a non-runner. When he got it, it was a non-runner and it had been wrecked and all sorts. But when he got it working, the very first ride that he went out on, he bombed it down the motorway or down the freeway, 170 mile an hour. The very first time he got it, or the very first time he got it out on the road, properly, I mean. He test rode it around a little bit whilst he was fixing things, but the very first proper ride that he did of it,
road test,
just bombed it down the freeway, and that's the problem. Is that you will find, and I'll probably do it myself as well. Well, what did your dad do when he went down the Autobahn when they went travelling in Germany?
What happened?
That's the very first thing he did.
Was my mum said, "Don't tell me how fast you go."
Yeah.
And he was like, he went, I did 120.
Yeah.
And then,
only 120.
And then he said to my mum, "Do you mind if I go around again?"
Mm-hmm.
And it got a little bit quicker. But the problem with the Autobahn that day was that there'd been an accident, so there was a limit on it. So he went as fast as the upper limit allowed him to go, but he couldn't actually open the taps fully because I think it was speed restricted that particular time. Yeah. But yeah, that was the reason he went, was to go on the Autobahn.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of people do. And it's the same in the United States and Mexico as well. People, they like travelling across the border just to open up the taps a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I suppose that's the issue. But, it was an interesting video nonetheless anyway, because I've been an advocate for it since forever, to at least have like an increase in motorway speed limits or something. But it's just a challenging my own endorsement, I suppose, of the idea, and that was the point of it, really.
Yeah.
This beer has gone right through me.
Has it?
Yeah. So if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm just gonna go and have a wee quickly.
Okay.
But in the meantime, Wifey, I'm gonna ask you a question, which I want you to answer.
Right.
To have a conversation with the audience here. What is the most... let's say, what's the scariest moment me and you have been riding together? And this can be, that you remember. And this can be either when you've been pillion or when you've been riding yourself.
Okay. Gosh. Hold on one. I've got
It's
to
a
be out
tough
the way.
one.
Oh God. I'll hit the keyboard now. My most scariest moment. God, that's a good one. I think I don't really remember being a pillion anymore, funnily enough. I mean, there's been one time we were on the ZZR and he went into a corner quite sharp and his foot touched the floor and I could see the floor coming up. That was scary. But there's never been a moment as a pillion, I don't think, where I've gone, oh my God, I'm terrified. Maybe the first time I went on the back, I wasn't maybe my most confident, but that's what you expect. My most scary moment when I've been riding wasn't when I dropped my bike because I was only going like 4 miles an hour. Oop.
Well, still, that would have been pretty scary, though.
Oh yeah, it was scary.
Because the first time you drop a bike is always really like...
Oh, the adrenaline was horrific.
Oh crap, it was really...
But it's like I said to you, I almost had like shell shock from it. Like I can't really remember a lot of what happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
I think the scary moment for me was when the car almost hit me, when it came into that lane. Yeah. Because I was in the wrong position, the sun was low, and it almost hit me. That was...
I'll have to see if I can dig that up. Because I have that on film somewhere. Because so I'll see if I can dig that up.
Because, I mean, you were fuming. You were absolutely furious.
Well, you didn't realise what they did wrong.
I didn't...
At the time.
No, I honestly...
But they were so close.
Yeah.
And basically what happened is that... So we were on a dual carriageway. I was in lane 3. The wifey was in lane 1. And a car overtook me. And it's almost like they didn't see that the wifey was there, because as soon as they got past me is when they started merging into the left-hand lane, which is where we were at the time. But because the wifey was in lane 1, this car got so close to her that it nearly hit her. They were within about maybe a couple of feet, maybe up to a meter away from from the front of Wifey's bike because they basically cut her up. And
but you did confront them, and
I got so angry.
You stopped your bike, didn't you? And you got off, and you actually walked
I actually
up to
had a chat with them in the window.
Yeah.
In their car, and they had no idea. They had no idea that they just nearly caused a crash, a really bad crash.
I'm really fortunate that, touch wood, I've not been in an accident, but like, I mean, you've been there, and these guys know when I had the phone call from my dad saying what had happened.
Yeah.
And like, I've been aware of bad crashes, and like my mum and dad have been in 2 crashes over their motorcycle careers. But that was almost scarier for me, hearing what happened and actually being involved, because you're out of control when it's happened to someone else, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like when you're H2, when that happened, I was completely out of control, and it terrified me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially what it took me to get that blooming bike delivered in the first place. Anyway, moving on. So we've got some questions for me, and then you can ask me your questions if you like.
Sure.
So Mark has asked the question that I think everyone is probably asking or thinking: am I intending in the future to go for my full license? Yes, I am. Eventually. Yeah.
Well, hopefully in the next 2 years, because again, you've just redone your CBT, so
it'd be a shame to waste it. So when I spoke to my CBT instructor, really, really great guy. Again, massive shout out to them, to riders. They were amazing. You know, they were like, the thing to do now is your theory. Get that over and done with. He did say that he's had people book him for the car theory. And then they come back and they're like, it's like, you can't do the next bit because it's your car theory you've just done, not your bike theory. And he's actually taking his test to be an actual rider, an actual license.
An instructor.
That's it. So yeah, I will do. You've picked out, well, I want to go for, what is he eating?
Don't worry.
I want to go for a Yami next. I want an MT-03. You think MT-07?
No, MT-07.
Even my dad.
Honestly, an MT-07 is going to be a better bike.
Even my dad thinks an MT-07.
Yeah.
So I've spoken to him about it. So yeah, there is intention for sure. I would be the only female motorcyclist in my entire family. Only if you don't count him, it's just my dad and I, in my family that ride.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet because every time I go out riding with my dad, he texts me after and he's like, "You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you." I was like, "Oh, Dad, oh, Daddy." So that's that. So yeah, there is the intention.
Okay, Mark's asking you, how the hell do you wear gloves?
Is that with my nails? Is that what you mean? Okay, so at one point we were going to do a video about this, weren't we? About females riding and makeup and all this sort of stuff and whatnot. I have to be really careful that they don't go too long because otherwise my gloves are incredibly uncomfortable. So I just have to basically have my nails at a certain length, really. But I would never go out without gloves. So if I had to, I'd wear your gloves because they are bigger than mine.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I just have to have my nails a certain length and just be
I don't understand how she does it, because when she's working, she has to type with her fingers pointing upwards because otherwise her nails get in the way and they'll start typing other keys that she doesn't intend to.
I can't open cans because it pulls the nail. So anything where there's a ring pull, I have to bring it to you, or I have to use a knife or something to lift it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as I'm careful and I don't get them past a certain length, then it's all okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
work my hobby around my hobby.
Yeah. Bike Hub. Luckily, I got let off as I showed him that I just bought the bike that morning. Oh, that's with regard to insurance, isn't it? Yeah.
That 125 guy wants to know whether, as a treat for the 3000, if I'm going to show off my drumming skills. Not today, because I am in a splint today. Because I've got RSI and it hurts and it gets painful. Plus, we'd have to move everything out of the way. But what I think we'll do is, because we've got to get the dog out as well, because I think it will actually burst his eardrums, is I think over the next couple of weeks we'll do some. We'll set a camera up and we'll film me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out and we can do that.
It will come this side of Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will definitely get a video of that out for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fine. No problem.
Awesome. Bike hub. NTM7 is a good bike, but it wheelies like a bastard. Interesting.
Well, considering I won't be the one test riding it, and I probably won't be the one riding it home.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, why wouldn't you? You'll have a full license. The only reason why I rode home your Ninja 125 is you didn't have a CVT.
But you'll want to test ride it, won't you?
Well, I want to ride it, but the first ride has to be from you.
I know.
Not me.
Yeah. Do you know what I have seen recently, and I don't know what it is, and for some reason I think it might be it says CBR down the side. So I want to say it's a Honda.
Yeah.
There's a silver grey Honda going down our road doing wheelies, and it's so impressive. It gets such air on it.
I don't know. Sounds like a Fireblade to me, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Because you can wheelie on 600s easy as well. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. But trying to think if I've got another question for you, Wifey. So, will you, at some point in the near future, ride the ZZR?
Yes.
Only in like a
car
private,
private
enclosure or
I am really cautious about dropping it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only drawback and my only concern is.
I don't think you will.
But no, I it's something that you've got in mind, isn't it, for me to
because I want to prove to women everywhere that they can ride a bike like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, how tall are you?
5'9".
5'8", 5'9". Yeah. So I want to prove that smaller people and women can definitely ride that bike. This one, they can definitely ride it without an issue. It's like riding any other bike, literally.
It's just how you control it. I guess,
it just looks intimidating because it's big, but it's honestly it's a pussycat. It really is. So okay, good. We'll make that happen.
We've had all motorcycle related questions today.
Yeah, we have
so far. So.
All right.
Hi, Jim P. Welcome.
Oh, Mark, would you consider a group meet in the future? Yes. Yeah,
there's no question of that, is there? Of course.
It's really annoying because I think I actually said this about doing something like that at some point in the last 6 months or so. I think I said the same thing. That I want to do it. It's just been organising time and for us organising things, organising our lives and all that. It's been a bit tricky. But yeah, I really do. I want to organise a meetup somewhere where it's kind of central to everybody, so people don't have to travel massive amounts of distance to get to the meet place. Another issue is I would want to come up with a route as well. So I'd probably want to go to the meet place maybe, I don't know, a couple of hours beforehand, maybe 3 hours beforehand, and try and figure out a route. That'll be fun for everyone. So that'll be something else. Unless there's someone who is local to that particular area that will be joining us on the meet, then on the ride, then maybe they can give us some good routes. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because do you guys know a channel called Car Throttle? So it's quite a big channel. They've got 3 or 4 million subscribers, something like that. But the main presenter on that show, Alex, he recently left Car Throttle and he started up his own YouTube channel. It's called Auto Alex. It's a really good channel. He's got some pretty good stuff on there. But he recently did a convention. He made a convention. It was Goodwood's, is that what it's called? Goodwood's racetrack, I think.
Goodwood, yeah.
I think that's what it's called. And he basically organised it there for a lad who I think is suffering from cancer. He's a car enthusiast. He loves cars. And one of the things that I thought about doing, but because it all happened within a week, I didn't have an opportunity to organise it. But what I would have loved to have done is set up a Goblin ride stand or something like that, where you guys could come and actually be a part of this convention, and we could have a motorcycle bit, because Alex is also into motorcycles as well. And I thought that would have been really cool if I could have gotten involved somehow that way, because it was a really cool event. And I can't remember what they ended up. They called it something, but they had like celebrities there. They had Richard Hammond was there. They had Mike Brewer was there as well. I think they had a few other faces, celebrity faces there, and it looked like a really good event. And so I do wish I kind of was able to do something with that as well, be a part of it, and yeah, just represent bikers as a community. But yeah, I'm always thinking about this kind of stuff where, you know, what can I do with the community physically rather than, you know, just on YouTube or on Instagram or whatever. If there's something like that comes up, then yeah, I'll try my absolute best to
get involved.
To get involved and make it happen. But yeah, definitely. I don't know exactly what format it'll take or where it will be or what have you, but yeah, something that's in the back of my mind quite a lot. It's like this summer I wanted to test ride other bikes as well. Didn't get an opportunity to do that either. Too much going on. So that's another thing that's probably gonna have to wait now until maybe spring. But I don't know. There might be an opportunity between now and November to get involved in some test rides and feature a few different bikes on the channel. I don't know, but
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
we've had a couple more questions in.
Okay.
2 of them asking where we are based.
We're based in Gloucestershire, so it's West Midlands. Yeah, the West Country basically.
We don't sound like it, do we?
Well, you don't, because you're from Brighton.
Yeah.
But
you don't. I don't think.
I tried not to have that Bristol farmer's accent. No, I tried not to do that if I can help it. But yeah. All right, my lover.
Yeah. That 125 guy has thrown in a personal question, which I love. What is your favourite Avenged Sevenfold song?
Hey, Avenged Sevenfold.
I like The Stage.
The Stage is a good one.
Yeah.
It's interesting because music has never actually come up in conversation in the live show before, which I'm surprised. My favourite song... Oh, see, it changes.
By Avenged Sevenfold?
Yeah, it changes for me. My classic favourite song has got to be God Hates Us.
Yeah?
I absolutely love that song. Basically, the whole Nightmare album. I love the whole Nightmare album, but City of Evil is also fantastic as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Avenged Sevenfold, they've just got a lot of cracking tunes.
It's a band I really want to see.
Have you not seen them?
No. You and my cousin have both seen them and I haven't.
I've seen
them.
But
I've
really
seen
good.
Metallica 3 times and you haven't seen them once, so that evens out.
Well, what's your favourite Metallica song then? That's got to be an impossible question.
Straight away.
There's so much.
It's For Whom the Bell Tolls straight away, because I learnt to drum that.
That's a good song.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nothing Else Matters is the song we had at our wedding, me and my dad. I love the Unforgiven songs. I love the classics like Master of Puppets and
Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire, Give Me That with Jedi.
Battery.
Ooh.
I love those. So yeah,
interesting that you didn't mention Enter Sandman or Master of Puppets.
I just said those.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Open your ears, boy.
Sorry.
Because
for me, a lot of the Metallica songs, I even though I love Master of Puppets and I love Enter Sandman, I don't actually. Those aren't the first songs that come to mind.
But I also love Orion.
Yeah.
With especially the orchestral version. But I mean, let's be honest, Master of Puppets came out or really hit the waves recently. Yeah. Because of Stranger Things.
I love Ride the Lightning.
Yeah. Bike Hub 1. One's a great song. One's a fantastic song. So yeah.
One's a good song as well. Yeah, there's so much. There's so much. I mean, Creeping Death. I mean, God, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Everything on that Ride the Lightning album is a cracker. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love that album.
125 guy, my favourite is Almost Easy Metallica song. And to be
Almost Easy is Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my favourite is Almost Easy. Metallica song has to be Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah, they're good. They're good choices. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Mark has asked, what are our names?
Okay.
Feel free to decline.
All right. So I'll tell you what, because I knew this question was going to come up. I am not. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you the first letter of my name, my actual name. All right. And I don't know. Like we'll see if you can guess it.
I don't think they will.
I don't think you will. We won't involve the wifey's name in this. We'll just do mine. because I think it's going to be hard.
Your name's harder than mine to guess.
Yeah, I think so.
For sure.
But it begins with R, the letter R.
Enter your results now.
Yeah. Put your guesses in the chat.
We might tell you if you're right. We might. So
it's not something that I'm actually against doing, to be honest. Giving out our names, it's just I don't know. It's just never something that I've really thought about doing. I mean, I remember when we started off the channel, I'd wear my helmet all the time because I didn't want to show my face. But actually, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
And the thing is that a lot of the time as well.
Bike Hub's got it, Rasmus.
Oh, that's it.
The band or the name?
Yeah, the band. But I was actually like, well, no, people want to see your face. You know, if people can see your face, that you're more relatable and stuff like that. So people really, and I think it's helped. I think it's helped the content. People being able to see my face. So
got some interesting answers here. Romano, Rupert, Ronald.
You're not there yet.
No.
But there's some good ones. There's some good ones. Yeah.
We might consider changing your name if it gets good enough, I think.
Yeah, I'll call myself Rupert. Yeah. Rasputin. Oh, brilliant. That's awesome.
You look like a Viking.
Do I?
You'd take that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. My bracelets are Viking bands. Yeah. This is it's my one of my favourite ones. What are these called? They're called something specific, aren't they?
What, the bangle?
Yeah.
The dragon? I don't know.
No. Like these. What this piece of jewellery is called? It's called something specific.
I have no idea.
Yeah. But yeah. I got a couple of those. I never take these off.
No.
Ever. Never take these off. So yeah, I don't know why. I've just worn them for years. Yeah. It's been years.
Like I brought you all those.
A long time that I've been wearing these. I've never taken them off. Yeah. Oh, I just realised I'm not wearing my wedding ring. Sorry.
We are fine, guys. Nothing's going on.
I had a bath last night and I took it off. Well, I got in the bath and I took off the ring in the bathtub, so it's on the side of the bathtub. Sorry.
It's all right.
Wifey doesn't like it when I'm not wearing my ring. I hate the damn things personally. Rings are a nightmare. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
It's just as well because I run a martial arts gym as well in our local area. So I'm punching bags a lot. I'm lifting weights and what have you. And every single time I've got to take my ring off.
If he goes on a night out, I'm like, is your wedding ring on? Is it on?
Yeah. Ragnar. I love that name.
That's a good name.
I love Ragnar. No, not there yet. You guys will struggle with
Jim
this.
Jim P said Richard. You don't look like a Richard.
No. I like the name Richard. Well, I like the name Richard. I don't like the name Dick.
Or Rich. I don't like Rich.
Rich isn't so bad. I don't like the name. I don't like the name Ricky.
Ricky. Yeah,
we're probably offending a load of people right now.
No offense.
But, no, Richard. I like the name Richard.
Oh, Raphael. Brazilian, nice. Maybe martial arts.
No, not quite.
Yeah.
No, the martial arts we practice are Japanese karate.
Yeah.
Karate and jiu-jitsu. So no, we don't get involved in the Brazilian stuff. It's quite funny actually because this whole issue that we've been having recently in the martial arts club in the place that we have, because I said a couple of weeks ago about another martial arts gym opening up in the same premises that we're based from. It's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu BJJ gym, and I hate them. I'm joking. No, the martial art is really good. BJJ, if you ever want to learn a martial art, BJJ is really good. It's a really good martial art to learn. Because you don't have to be like a strong guy to do it. You don't have to be strong. BJJ came from... Oh, sorry. My beer just a drop of it went flying. You see that?
I did. It's on my keyboard.
Sorry.
What you like?
Yeah, because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu came from Gracie, the Gracie family, and apparently the guy that invented it was quite a weak man. He had like some physical illness or something, and he tried doing Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and he couldn't do it because he wasn't strong enough. So he created his own martial art, basically, with that take advantage of his own physical attributes, and that's what basically BJJ has become today.
Bike Hub has decided that you're no longer name starts with an R. You're actually called Hadouken.
Hadouken! Ryu, I love it. I love it. No, not quite. Sorry. I'll say if you're close, but no one's been close yet.
Not quite, no. So yeah. Any other questions for me?
For you?
Doesn't have to be motorbike related. Can be anything. Coke or Pepsi? Oh, that's a good one. For me, it's Pepsi all the way.
No. No.
For me.
No, I don't think you'd say that.
Why?
Right, so this is the way how I see it. So for me, regular Coke tastes better for me regular than Pepsi. But I do like Pepsi. I like all Pepsi. But for diet drinks for me, Pepsi Max is just perfect.
I don't and have never liked normal Coke
Seriously?
or normal Pepsi. I used to drink Diet Coke growing up, so for me it's Pepsi Max all the way.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Pepsi Max Lime, Pepsi Max Ginger, any of those.
You can't go wrong with Pepsi Max for me. But
Pepsi Max for me.
The Diet Coke drinks always taste like cheap colas. They never taste good. But the Pepsi Diet and Pepsi Max, they all taste good for me.
But it's like we prefer 7-Up Free to 7-Up.
Yeah.
It just tastes better.
Yeah, if you never tried 7-Up before, 7-Up's really good, especially 7-Up Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Favourite
tasty.
meal? Oh, we could be here all day.
See, Coke Zero,
It's not for you, is it?
I didn't particularly enjoy Coke Zero. I never thought it. Again, it just tastes like cheap cola to me. But that's my taste. That's my taste.
That 125 guy says Pepsi Max for the win, or Aldi knockoff Pepsi Max. Oh, might have to try that.
Yeah, Aldi Coca-Cola
That's
or
the one
Aldi
you
Coke
like,
is actually really good. Yeah, I do approve of Aldi Cola. It's the
What-
best cheap cola that there is.
What's your favourite meal?
My favourite meal. Again, this kind of changes between Chinese, Indian, and Mexican. I mean, and Tex-Mex, I suppose, as well. But that's the kind of things that we go for usually. I think my favourite meal has got to be TGI Fridays Ultimate Ribs, without a doubt.
Do you know what? I once said to someone what I'm about to say, and they were like, "Oh my god, you're so true." You have to really like or love the person that you're with to sit opposite them when they're eating Jack Daniel's Ultimate Ribs from TGI's, because they are messy, aren't they?
But yeah, I absolutely love that's a real treat. It's a real treat. The TGI Fridays ribs are a real treat because they're not cheap. That what is it? 25 quid? £23. 23 quid for a meal, for a Jack Daniel's Ultimate Ribs meal. Yeah, so it's I could eat two of them. It's not like it's a small portion, is it? It's massive portions, but I could eat two of them. Without a doubt, I could eat two of the racks of ribs. I could eat two of the whole chips, the onion rings, everything.
For me, I've really been into tacos recently, haven't I?
Tacos.
Like,
yeah.
I love tacos.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Growing up, it was every birthday, it was lamb roast dinner with Yorkshire puddings. That was my dinner. That was my birthday meal.
I think that's approval.
Will you revert back to pre-COVID and remove your ponytail? I'm curious about your answer here.
It's quite funny because, again, when we started off this channel, and I didn't show my face, I had my helmet on all the time, I had really short hair. Really short hair.
Super short.
Super short.
Like marine cut.
Shall I see if I can find a picture of us from, like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something.
Back in the day.
See if I can find one.
I haven't changed. My hair's exactly the same as it was, just the colour changed.
Yeah. But it's this is the first ever time I've actually had my hair long.
Do you think you will cut it again?
That's a good question. I don't know, actually. I actually don't know.
I have my views on it.
I've kind of like got this far,
Yeah.
I let it grow this long. It'd be a shame to cut it all off. But the thing is, though, is I kind of got used to my hair like this now. And now when I look at pictures of myself,
you look
5-10 years ago, it looks odd.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I'll give you the same answer that you give me.
Okay.
No.
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 Fair enough.
I like it, but at the end of the day, I say it's your hair, isn't it?
Yeah.
but you say I have to look at it.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I like it. You know, my dad turned round to you and said, "Have it long whilst you can," because it won't be like this forever.
I'm already balding along my crown, which is kind of annoying.
So.
Oh, look, here we go. Here's a nice one.
Oh, let's just vet it before we show everybody. Oh my goodness! Yeah.
That'll do.
When was this taken?
Hang on, let me show everyone.
Please excuse the weird face I'm pulling.
Let me move everything over a sec. There you go.
There we go. That's us.
That's us from. Let's have a look when this was taken.
The only thing that's different is I've actually got eyebrows now. In that picture, I have like no eyebrows.
I mean, well, this has got to be from 2015 onwards. Can you read that?
Nope, not from here. 2017.
From 2017.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's us and the little dog.
Dracula, is that me? Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, there you go. That's but yeah, I look totally weird with short hair now. I look totally weird.
You do look very, very different. Yeah. Very different. So yeah. Okay, so Jim P, I see you have a pug there. I have a very large German Rottweiler trying to get on my lap as I'm sitting on the floor. Yes, this is Goblin Dog. He is a 3/4 pug. He is mixed with a Jack Russell. It was his birthday last week. He's now 6.
6
no,
years old.
His birthday on Monday, wasn't it? He's now 6 years old. We take him. He has a Happy Meal and he gets a new toy because I'm lame and that's what I like to do. But we got him because I wanted a dog and you said not until we move into our own property. We brought the flat in the June and I had him home with me in the November. So I was like, I'm having him. And I signed off work for 3 weeks, wasn't I? So it was great timing to have him with us.
Yeah.
Mark has asked what Goblin Dog is called. Bike cover says something beginning with S.
No. We might as well tell them. I mean,
Go on then.
His name's Flint.
Yeah.
He was named after Captain Flint from Treasure Island. Well, Treasure Island, the show Black Sails that was on Amazon a few years ago now. It's a really good series. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. It's a fantasy pirate drama, but yeah, it's really good. And yeah, he was named after Captain Flint.
Yeah. That's you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's you, mate.
When we got him, he was so small. Like, he was literally, when we met him, he fit in my hand. He was so tiny. And I brought him a hoodie, didn't I? And it said Captain Flint on it.
Yeah.
And it was so sweet.
I'm just going to see if I could find just a picture of him from when he was little. That's brilliant.
Oh, no.
Oh, that I'm sorry. That is actually brilliant.
He's all bug-eyed.
Oh, sorry.
That's not the right screen.
There we go.
You sure they can actually see that?
Yeah, they can. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, that's funny. Pictures like that. Oh,
yeah.
Brilliant.
I just keep putting it back.
No, sorry, that was a misclick. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, we got some funny ones.
Bike Hub, oh dearie me, has a semi-serious question. So for me, I've had 250s, 400s, 600s, 7s and 1000s. What for you is a magic number for horsepower, purely for the road, excluding all track riding?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like having more horsepower than less. I like having more torque than less. So for me, something between, I'd say, 140 to 200 horsepower is for me the sweet spot. Yeah, it's tough because if I go back to a motorcycle that has less power, I miss it.
Yeah.
I miss it. Even for street use, I just miss having that nice torque on tap that the bikes that we currently have provide. So yeah, it's tough. But I like around about the 150 horsepower range. Between 150 200 horsepower is nice. Between 150 newton meters of torque for me is nice. That's where I like to be, I think. I might change as I get a bit older and as I'm, like, oh, that's too powerful or whatever. Maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, that's the sweet spot for me.
His breath really smells.
He's hungry, I reckon.
So, Dope Style Gaming, hello. He said, I can't believe I missed this. I might cry. If you've got any questions, chuck them in.
Yeah.
Chuck them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
J1990, welcome. Where did you get the green ZZR model?
It was actually a present given to me for my birthday.
I think you can get them on Amazon though.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he got it from.
Amazon.
But yeah, this isn't actually a solid piece. This is actually a build it yourself kit.
Yeah.
And it all comes apart, and you have all the pieces, and you put it together.
There is a website, however, called minimodelshop.com, and they do all of these either ready built or like build your own on all sorts of different bikes as well.
I want to get one of the ZH2,
and that's why I've got that website up
as well. Eventually, yeah, the ZH2 would be a nice model to have. I mean, this one here is the ZX10R. I mean, we got it because it looked nice and it was a nice little centerpiece for the live show. Yeah.
I got this for you for Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Because I got you an odd number of presents. I didn't like it. So I had to give you another one. I found that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little model. This, I love it. Yeah, it's really good. And as soon as I got it, because the guy gave it to me whilst we were having a birthday party here. And as soon as I got it, I just put my drink down and started building it. Because I had to build it.
It went really quiet at that end of the table. And there was you and him building your gifts. It was really quiet.
Yeah, it's brilliant. But
you did it without reading the book, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because my thinking was, I know the bike. Like, I know how it all goes together.
You know how it looks.
So, yeah. So everything should go in a particular way. And as long as it looks familiar, then... No, I think I did a pretty good job without any destructions.
That's not falling apart, has it?
Not yet. Dope Style Gaming, I got a question. Can you pass me a new R125, or can we get your names?
The 125's in the post.
Yeah. No, I wish I could. Yeah. I mean, doing something like motorcycle giveaways is something I thought about doing at some point in the future. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. I think that's
the second or third time being asked our names now.
Yeah. Well, I'll say to you what I said earlier. I'll give you a hint. We won't involve the wifey's name. We'll just do mine. All right. It begins with the letter R. Okay. You can have a look through the chat, see what guesses have already been. No one's guessed it yet.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be easy. No. But yeah, it begins with the letter R. All right. So there you go. Ponder on that. But yeah, that's all I'm going to give you. And going back to the Bike Hub's question about the 250s, 400s, 600s, 7s, 1000s, it's quite funny because since I've had 1 litres, I don't think I will go back to anything smaller than a 1 litre. At some point, I might get a 600 at some point if one comes about and it's the right price, and I'm in the market for one. I might get another 600 because I did like the old CBR 600RR.
Yeah, you did enjoy it.
I thought it was a really fun bike for a lightweight bike you could just rag around. I thought it was fun, but so I might look at something like that. But I want to try out a Fireblade. I want to try out an R1, and I also want to try out a ZX10R as well at some point. So I mean, well, even a Gixxer 1000 I'd have a go on as well. But I got a long list of bikes. I got cruisers I wanna have a go on. Don't ask me which ones because I'm not a cruiser guy, but again I want to get involved because it's part of the community. and it's a big part of the community, the cruiser guys. So I want to know what the fuss is all about. So yeah, cruiser is definitely something I want to try at some point. I don't know if I'd start off on a Sportster, but some people have mixed opinions on Sportsters. But yeah, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good question. Got my Gen 2 ZZR this year. Next year, I need new tyres. What tyres do you use? It's J1990. The tyres that I have are Bridgestone. Oh, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the model name, but they're Bridgestone tyres, and they are like so-called sport touring tyres, so they're not performance tyres. But they do a pretty good job. I prefer having more longevity in the tyres than grippiness, I suppose. Because yeah, all my riding is street riding. I never do any track days. And I think when I do get into track days, I actually want to have a bike for track days. If I can afford it, it's have a track day bike where I can mess around with tires a bit more. I can get something a bit softer, something a bit grippier. But yeah. Yeah, no, right now we're just bog standard street tyres. It's quite funny actually, because on the recent ZZR MOT video, where I had to get the rim fixed, bent back into shape. The tyre that I got from the tyre shop was actually old new stock. So it was a 2-year-old tyre that they just weren't selling, and it was half the price of a brand new one. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll have that. It's only 2 years old, so run it for another couple of years. It'll, I need a new tyre, but probably in a couple of years' time anyway. So yeah, it worked out really well for me. Yeah, new old stock tyre. So yeah, if you ever are looking to get a new tyre on a motorcycle or a car, even ask if they've got any new old stock. You might be surprised at what you can get at a really good deal. So, because I think that tyre was going to cost 160 quid, 150 quid, and it ended up costing me 80 quid. So, yeah, I was really happy about that. But, yeah. That's it. Yeah, Mark, Bridgestone Battle Axe. Battle Axe. Yeah, those are the ones. Dopestyle Gaming. What year R1 is your preferred choice? I'm personally in love with the 2016 onwards, but I can't get the looks. I can't get the looks of the 2010 model out either. That's tough, man. Because I do like the ones from the mid 2000s. I can't. Is it 2005 onwards or 2004 onwards? That model run R1. I thought it looked lovely, absolutely lovely. Where they had like the really pointy front end. But again, I mean that was the time when I was really kind of getting into bikes and what have you. So that's the kind of era that I kind of, what's the word? There's a phrase that I'm looking for. Something teeth. I don't know. Not grind my teeth, but I can't remember. But from that era, those are the kinds of bikes that I would look at and I'd be like, oh, I have to have one of those at some point. And yeah, it was the mid 2000s R1. I can't remember exactly which model SKU it was, but yeah, absolutely love it. The bikes that I really, really loved, and I wish that they brought this back. And I know that they had problems with the heat and what have you, but the underseat exhaust designs, I friggin' love those. I love the Fireblaze with the dual underseat exhaust. I loved the CBR 600RR with that underseat exhaust. I absolutely loved it. I thought it looked so neat and so cool. And because it's quite high up, you could really hear it. You could really hear the exhaust notes.
I loved that when we got off the bike and I was really cold and that bike had been on for a while. You could warm my hands on it.
Yeah,
my hands in front of it.
I love that old design, and it's a shame that they've scrapped that design nowadays. But yeah, absolutely love it. So I remember when I looked at buying a Fireblade. Unfortunately, it was just outside my price range. Was it a 2004 Fireblade? I think it was.
I'm not sure.
And yeah, it had the underslung exhaust, and
it was a nice bike though.
Oh, Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Yeah. It's just outside my price range. So if it wasn't a CBR 600RR at the beginning of the channel, it would have been a Fireblade as well. Yeah. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Oh yeah, Bike Hub. Yeah, I've done track days on 8-year-old tires. Hardly any difference. Yeah, it's quite funny actually because people they say about getting new tires and what have you, but actually, new old stock is just as good as brand spanking new tires. So yeah, don't get put off by older tires if they're brand new. You know, I mean, maybe 10 years tires have degraded enough that they're not worth using, but yeah, any tyre within, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 years, something like that, that's brand new, that's never been used. Yeah, all good. All good, I think. Definitely worth it. Don't Start Gaming. Had Wifey come to a decision on what her next bike will be, an MT-03 or an MT-07? Cut your teeth, Bike Hub, cut your teeth. That's the phrase I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah, well, I think the MT-07, but yeah, she doesn't know yet.
I'm not sure.
I'd always say an MT-07.
In my mind, I'm like, oh, experience-wise, MT-03, but then I'm like, MT-07 is going to give me more oomph and more.
It's just going to be a better experience, honestly.
Yeah. As long as it's matte black with yellow, I don't really mind.
I'm sure you'll find something like that. But anyway, I think we'll call it.
Yeah,
call it a day, I think, for today's show. But yeah, hopefully you guys have got to know us a little bit better, and yeah, it's been interesting to see what you guys want to know about us and what questions you've got. I think is very, very good kind of what's the word, conversation to have between us. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, thank you ever so much again for watching. Thank you ever so much to all of you that put your questions in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I love the interaction that we get from you guys. It's so good.
Before we go,
yes,
Naomi, hello, welcome.
Hi Naomi.
What starter 125 would you recommend for someone who's 5 foot tall?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because Don't Start Gaming, Grom, that's a pretty good choice. But Groms, I think, have quite a tall seat height, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know off the top of my head, but they look like they sit quite tall, Groms. Well, I mean, from the experience that the Wifey's had, a Ninja 125, I think, is a really good choice, or a Z125.
That Honda was great though as well. On the CBT.
Oh yeah, the CBF 125 again is fantastic. A really good choice.
Really, really good. And I rode that. That was about 3 weeks ago, and I've been riding my Ninja for 2 years, and we have actually got some videos around, like, if maybe you've done your CBT or you're looking to do it, around some like the harder stuff for CBTs, but also we have done some videos about the 125. But the Honda CBR, that is CBS, so that's a really fun bike. It's really nice. It's quite easy to ride.
I think most people would recommend a CBF 125. It is kind of like the de facto starter bike for in terms of 125 and cc anyway.
There's certain things on there which my bike doesn't have,
well, like a gear indicator for one. The
CBF does, and it made it so much easier to ride it from a new starter point of view. So do you know what, if I knew about the Honda, maybe that would be the one I would have got instead. So yeah, either the 125 or the CBF in my mind. I don't know what a Grom is, so I can't give any experience or comment there.
But again, I think you'll have a very similar feature set on a Grom as well. But you just have a look at them and sit on them. If you have a motorcycle in mind, sit on it and see if you can touch the ground okay. You don't
stand it up as well and see how it feels.
You don't have to worry so much about So obviously, so when you sit on it, take it off the kickstand, so you can feel the weight in between your legs and you can kind of figure out whether or not you have enough of a reach, but you don't need to have both your feet on the ground to control a motorcycle. There are a lot of people that focus on one side or the other, especially with a lot of taller bikes. So if you can't get both your feet on the ground, don't worry about that so much. But yeah, definitely have a look at some bikes. We recommend the Ninja 125, the CBF 125, Z125, and R125. It all kind of depends on the price range that you've got. But Yeah, I think the CBF 125 is probably the best option.
Yeah.
I think personally, but yeah, just go and see one in a local dealership and sit on it and see if
see how it feels.
See how it feels. Yeah.
Make sure you can put the kickstand down comfortably and pick it back up comfortably, and all those things that you might need to do without turning it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of thing. Just one more question, sorry. That 125 guy, when wife did her second CBT, did you use your own bike? No, I didn't.
No, she was too scared.
It's not just that as well. I'm just like, if I'm going to drop it, I'll drop theirs.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's what I would do as well, to be honest. If it's ever testing or CBT, anything like that, just use their bike.
And it's given me a bit more experience on different bikes.
Yeah.
So
that's
all good.
That's the way I would have done it as well. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that was the last one, sorry.
Yeah, thank you ever so much, everyone, again for watching. And yeah, I mean, if you have any further questions, if you're watching this after the fact, then drop your questions in the comments, and me and the wifey we'll see if we can get through those as well. So yeah, you guys don't miss out. But anyway, I think we're gonna have some dinner. So feed the dog as well, because he's been fussing for food for the last half an hour.
If you tell him it's dinner time, he gets all excited and runs out. So I'm not going to say it too loud.
But yeah, again, thank you ever so much for watching.
It's been great.
Tomorrow's video, ZZR versus ZH2. Make sure to go and catch that, because it was a big project and it took us a long time to do. Yeah. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. But yeah, if we don't catch you tomorrow, have a good weekend, and we will see you all in next week's live show. Have a good one, guys.
Ride safe.
Ride safe. Dinner time.
He's circling. He's like rounding us up.